You may have heard the news that Instagram is taking away likes. So in this episode, we're talking all about why would they do this, what it means for you, and most importantly, how you can protect your business and your Instagram account to make sure that you get even better results than you ever did before. Hey there, my name is Adam Earhart, marketing strategist, and welcome to The Marketing Show, where we help you grow your business by making way better marketing. So if you're interested in learning the latest and greatest marketing strategies, tools, tips, tricks, and tactics, well, you may want to consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. But on today's episode, we're doing things a little bit differently. I wanted to have a candid conversation, just me and you, discussing something that's been on my mind a lot lately, and that's essentially Instagram taking away likes. And it's not just the fact that they're thinking about taking away likes and in many cases have already started to roll out this feature that has got my mind kind of spinning, but rather what this means for marketing as a whole and essentially the entire world of social media. So with all that said, let's dive right into it, starting with why would they do this? After all, why would Instagram take away one of the core features of their entire platform with the likes and just wipe this right off the platform completely? Well, Instagram's claiming that this has a lot to do with mental health and essentially removing some of the pressure that people feel around creating content. And it's pretty reasonable, actually. If you think about the amount of stress and the amount of stories that you hear from different influencers and even from friends and family and colleagues and some of the stresses that goes into creating this content and then the self-judgment and all of the doubts and insecurities that come to the surface when you put stuff out there and it just doesn't seem to resonate. I've heard tons and tons of stories of people that go out there, spend all sorts of time creating this content, post it, and then they judge whether it's successful or not based on how many likes they get. And if they don't get that arbitrary number that makes them feel good about the content, well, they just rip it off and completely delete it from the platform. So Instagram's saying that they're trying to fight against this. They're trying to remove some of the pressure by removing all of those social signals and essentially helping people to stop trying to get that outside validation for their content, which I guess they're hoping is going to help them return to more authentic and more valuable content and really just focusing on the content itself rather than the reactions that they're trying to get out of it. It's also no secret that social media has come under some pretty heavy fire. I mean, the biggest example being probably Facebook with their Cambridge Analytica scandal and the data leaks and that whole nightmare. Well, more and more people are taking a look at social media's influence on our lives, on the lives of our kids, on the lives of everybody that it impacts, which is pretty much everybody. And a lot of those effects, well, they ain't so positive. Sure, there's arguments against this, saying that we've always had social influence of some sorts. We've always had these publicly displayed sort of authority signals and that, but they're certainly a lot more prevalent today, and social media is now everywhere, and we're often able to communicate with each other and get these signals lightning fast. Anyway, regardless of Instagram's motives for this, regardless of what they're trying to claim they're doing it for, or regardless of what people are perceiving them doing it for, there's one really clear and obvious reason that they're doing this. Instagram is a business, and removing likes is a business decision. They can claim that it's to be altruistic and for mental health and to try to protect its users, but all of these have been weighed heavily against the business impact that this decision is going to have. What this means is that to us on the outside of Instagram's inner circle, well, we can judge and we can guess and we can try to figure out why they're doing this, but the reality is that they're doing this from a very strict and very calculated business position. They really believe that this is going to be best for the platform overall. Alright, so what are some of the factors that have led to this and what's kind of the climate that we're currently in when it comes to social media and when it comes to social proof and specifically the Instagram likes? Well, it's no surprise that trying to increase followers and trying to get more likes, it's become a bit of an arms race where essentially everybody has a new trick and a new tactic and a new hack on how to build your audience and increase your followers and get more likes on your content. And essentially what this has led to is, again, a bit of that arms race where people are just trying to stack up as much of this as possible. And it's led to all sorts of kind of sketchy and questionable tactics as people try to game the system and really move things in their favor. What this means is people are often less likely to post valuable content or authentic content or content that is actually going to help somebody if they fear that it's not going to get the prerequisite number of likes that they deem are needed to be successful on the platform. So people are basically self-editing before they've even had a chance to post that content and build that connection, which at the end of the day is kind of what they're going for. Basically, the platform is kind of turned into a superficial magazine review type site where people are producing likable content or content that's going to get a lot of likes but often lacks a ton of substance. Even worse, it leads to even more questionable tactics like buying likes or using bots or automation in order to build your followers, or essentially just kind of faking it and making it look like you've got a lot more engagement than you actually do. No surprise here, this is terrible for business. You see, one of the biggest misconceptions that arises from doing Instagram marketing or Facebook marketing or pretty much any kind of marketing where people are able to comment and engage and like the content you produce is that a lot of people mistakenly believe that likes equal revenue, and likes do not equal revenue, not in any way, shape, or form. In fact, sometimes the best performing content is the stuff that maybe doesn't get a ton of likes, but it actually ends up driving the most revenue for the business. This is why when businesses are creating content with the sole goal of trying to get more likes and trying to essentially boost all those social signals, well, it often ends up being a really bad business decision that doesn't lead to a lot of revenue growth overall. This often happens when businesses try to build up an audience for the sake of monetizing later, or even worse, building up an audience simply for the sake of building up an audience. So, is Instagram removing likes completely? When is this taking effect? What countries are being affected? What kind of accounts? Well, the reality is that this program is already being rolled out as you're watching this right now. It's already being tested in a number of different markets and a number of different countries, and they're trying to judge the impact and the effect of this and really deciding if they're gonna roll this out in the primary market, which is the United States. It's important to note that while it does look like they are moving in this direction, there's no reason that they won't bring likes back later or introduce another kind of feature or whatever the case, right? They're always iterating and adapting and evolving and trying to make the platform the best they can for its users. Because again, Instagram is a business, and the better off its users are, well, the more likely people are to advertise on the platform, which is how it generates its revenue. It's also important to note that other social media networks, namely Twitter, have already started to play around with removing likes and hiding social proof and seeing how this affects the overall user experience. The reality is that nobody really knows. I mean, this could be a trend that we see really take off, or it could just get completely stifled and never get rolled out in the main market, and then they just wipe it out completely and give everybody their likes back. The important thing here is to know what this means, both the good and the bad, so you can use it to adapt your business accordingly. So with all that said, let's get into the bad news first. As a business, there are a couple downsides that come along with Instagram removing likes, namely the fact that you're not really gonna be able to tell what kind of content is working best for your competitors, so it's gonna be hard to see sort of what's working well and what's not. Again though, this is gonna be really superficial because, as we already talked about, what gets likes isn't necessarily the content that generates the most revenue. Another negative is that you're not going to be able to publicly display social proof, and social proof is an incredibly important influential signal. Really helps people make those decisions and decide that your business is valuable. Another negative is that this may actually make it easier for people to build up fake followings and buy more followers, because in the past what we were able to do is take a look at an account, and if they had a ton of followers but really low engagement, well, it would signify that these followers are all fake. But if we're not able to judge how many likes things get or whatnot, it's going to make it a little harder to discern whether an account actually has that kind of credibility or not. Alright, so now the good news. And the first piece of good news is that you as a business or as an influencer or as a content creator, well, you're still gonna be able to see all of your own likes, which means when you create content, you're gonna be able to see what kind of content resonates best with your market and what falls flat. Honestly, that's the best piece of news that I've got for you here. The fact that you're still gonna get access to that analytical data so you can make the right decisions moving forward. But a really important caveat and a really important warning is that user behavior is going to change if this feature gets rolled out unanimously. So if you see either a dip in likes or a sudden increase in likes, well, it's gonna be important to sort of recalibrate your baseline or whatever you're using to judge whether a post is effective or not, because again, that behavior is going to change once these things are no longer visible. Alright, so as a business or as an influencer, as a creator, what should you do with this information? How do you make it best serve you so you don't get left behind here? Well, my first piece of advice is something that I've pretty much said regardless of whether they have likes or whether they don't show likes, and that's to really focus on creating high quality content. I know I've said this time and time again, but the reality is whether likes are visible or not, high quality content is still going to perform better than low quality content. No surprise there, right? Plus, as I already mentioned, you're still going to get to see which parts of your content did well and which parts didn't do well. So you're still going to be able to focus in and really narrow in on the aspects and the creative and the copy of what kind of posts do well and what don't do so well. The next tip I have is to really focus on providing value. You've got a really unique opportunity here in that people aren't going to see how many likes things get. So you're going to have an opportunity to create posts that provide more value, are maybe a little sort of less likable and less social worthy, but are going to be more authentic and essentially really connect with your target market in a way that you might have been a little sketchy to before. Another opportunity here is to focus on Instagram stories, focus on having more conversations in the comments, and focus on building those conversations and those connections in the DMs. Again, just because that social proof aspect is going away doesn't mean that the relationships and creating valuable content and all those other concepts don't still apply. Lastly, it should come as no surprise that they are making these changes or these edits, and we may not have expected them to remove likes, but it doesn't mean that a change wasn't coming at some point. So what this does is it really does open up some of the opportunities here for you to transition maybe some of your time and money and energy away from your organic strategy and more toward an Instagram ad strategy. Instagram advertising is still an incredibly underutilized and really cost-effective strategy for most businesses out there. So if you haven't already, now's a good time to start trying that strategy out. So with that said, I'm gonna make sure to link up a video right here on Instagram advertising to help get you started and get you off on the right foot, because I really believe this is probably going to be the next best logical transition for you and your business if you're not already running Instagram ads. And if you are, well, then the video is going to provide even more advice and ideas and strategies to help you get better results from your campaigns. All right, so thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on The Marketing Show.